Hi, this is Miss Sarah from the Gwinnett County Public Library bringing you another episode of Backyard Biology. Today we're going to be talking about common birds that you might find in your backyard.
Let's talk about some of the types of birds you might see in your yard. First, the chickadee. This is a small bird with a black cap on its head. It usually flies very fast and can store up to thousands of seeds for later. The blue jay is easily identifiable by his bright blue feathers and by his pointy feathers on the top of his head known as a crest. The blue jay is one of the most social birds, often seen in pairs or flocks. He likes to come to the feeder and eat plenty of birdseed, but he sometimes might scare the other birds away by mimicking a hawk sound. Another brightly colored bird in your yard is the cardinal. The males have bright red feathers with a black mask. Females are duller colored with kind of a rusty brown or orange colored feathers. Cardinals have a thick beak for cracking open seeds. Cardinals also have a crest of feathers on the top of their head that they use to communicate with each other. The brown thrasher is the state bird of Georgia. This is a larger brown bird with a speckled breast and a bright yellow eye. Thrashers are often in the undergrowth stirring up leaves to look for bugs. You can see all kinds of birds in your yard. Maybe wrens, or a tufted titmouse, or sparrows. These are just a few of the types of birds you might see in your yard.
How can you bring birds to your backyard? Having a lot of birds in your yard is great because they eat things like mosquitoes and other insects that bother us. To attract birds to your yard, you need to provide the three things that everybody needs: water, food, and shelter. One of the things birds need is water. You could provide water in your yard with a bird bath. Birds need water both for drinking and for bathing in. Keeping their feathers clean helps them be best at flying. If you don't have a bird bath, you can still put some water out by making your own bird bath with things you might find at home. For example, you could take an old flower pot and turn it upside down like that to make your base. If you don't have a flower pot, you might be able to find some old bricks around that you could stack up for your base. And then I'm going to take a pie dish that I'm not using anymore and put that on top. If you have an aluminum pie plate, you can use that as well. Just put a rock or something in the middle of it to weight it down. And then you're going to just pour a little bit of water and you'll have a little makeshift bird bath. Birds don't need the water to be very deep. They just want to be able to stand in it and splash it over their feathers to get them clean.
Place your bird bath somewhere near a tree or shrub so that the bird who is wet from a bath can perch and dry off. You can also attract birds to your yard with food. You can put out a feeder, or you can make your own if you don't have a feeder. I'm going to make one with a toilet paper tube, peanut butter, some bird seed, and if you don't have bird seed, you may have some nuts that you can chop up until they're very fine. So for this simple feeder, I'm going to just cover the outside of my toilet paper tube with the peanut butter. And then I'm going to spread out some chopped nuts and seeds and just roll my tube like this so that they are stuck to the tube. Now I'm going to find a branch and just slide the tube over the branch, and there's a snack for the birds.
Birds also need shelter. You can do that by putting up bird houses around your yard, but also by doing things like adding brush piles. So anytime you cut something down, you can just make a big pile of it in your yard. It gives the birds a place to hide out, especially when the weather is cold or damp. Right now, do you hear that bird? That bird is not happy about my friend Willow, the cat. If you have a cat that you let outside, make sure you put a bell on her collar like Willow has so that birds will be able to hear the cat coming. Cats kill a lot of birds every year. Do you have anything interesting in your backyard? Be sure to take a picture of it and email it to backyardbiologygwinnett@gmail.com. I'd love to share your pictures.
Let's look at some pictures from this week.
This has been an episode of Backyard Biology brought to you by the Gwinnett County Public Library. I'll see you next time.